In a quiet village surrounded by green hills lived a young boy named Arrav. Arrav was known for two things: his bright imagination and his habit of giving up too soon. Whenever he tried something new, climbing a tree, learning to draw, or practicing for the school race, he would stop the moment it felt difficult. One summer, a tall hill behind the village became the center of attention. At the very top stood an old stone marker that no one had visited in years. The teachers at Arrav's school announced a special challenge. Any student who could climb to the top and sketch the view would have their artwork displayed at the village fair. Arrav loved to draw. He imagined his picture hanging proudly where everyone could see it. He pictured neighbors smiling and clapping. He felt excitement rise inside him like a bright balloon. On the first morning of the challenge, Arrav packed a notebook, a pencil, and a bottle of water. The hill looked much taller up close. Its path was rocky and uneven, twisting like a long gray ribbon. Arrav began walking with quick, confident steps. After a short while, the path grew steeper. Small stones slid under his shoes. His legs felt heavy. He looked up and saw how far the top still seemed. The bright balloon of excitement slowly shrank. Arrav thought about turning back. It would be easier to draw the hill from the bottom. No one would know how far he had climbed. Just then, a small brown dog appeared on the path. It was a stray that often wandered through the village. The dog was not large or powerful. Its fur was scruffy, and one ear bent slightly forward. Yet it moved steadily, step by step, carefully placing its paws on the uneven ground. The dog did not rush. It did not look at the very top. It simply kept moving forward, one small step at a time. Arrav watched as the dog paused to catch its breath and then continued climbing. It stumbled once, shook the dust from its fur, and kept going. There was no frustration in its movements, only quiet determination. Something shifted inside Arrav. He realized that he had been staring at the top of the hill, thinking about how far away success looked. The dog, however, focused only on the next few steps. Arrav decided to try the same approach. He stopped looking at the peak. Instead, he chose a small rock a few feet ahead and walked toward it. When he reached it, he picked another nearby spot. Step by step, he moved forward. The hill was still steep. His legs still felt tired. But each small goal felt possible. Each tiny victory gave him a spark of strength. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Arrav and the dog continued their quiet journey. At times, Arrav wanted to rest longer than he needed, but when he saw the dog rise again after a pause, he reminded himself that progress did not require speed, it required persistence. Halfway up the hill, Arrav noticed something new. The view had already changed. The village looked smaller, the fields more colorful. If he had turned back earlier, he would never have seen this. Encouraged, he kept climbing. When his legs trembled, he took slow breaths. When the path curved sharply, he adjusted his footing. He no longer thought about giving up. He thought about taking the next step. Finally, after many small efforts, Arrav reached the top. The old stone marker stood quietly, as if guarding the sky. The wind felt cooler there, brushing against his face like a reward. The dog arrived moments later and sat calmly, gazing over the valley. From the top, Arrav could see everything: the winding river, the tiny rooftops, the endless stretch of fields. The world looked bigger and more beautiful than he had ever imagined. He opened his notebook and began to draw. His hands were steady and his heart felt proud. This drawing was different from any he had made before. It was not just a picture of a view, it was a picture earned by effort. When the day of the village fair arrived, Arrav's sketch hung at the center of the display. People admired the details and the sense of height in his work. But what mattered most to Arrav was not the applause or the smiles. What mattered was the lesson he had learned on the hill. He understood that big achievements are built from small, steady steps. He realized that feeling tired did not mean he was failing. It meant he was growing stronger. He discovered that the distance to the top becomes shorter every time someone chooses not to quit. From that day on, whenever Arrav faced a challenge, whether in school, sports, or art, he remembered the scruffy brown dog climbing patiently beside him. He remembered the power of focusing on the next small step. And little by little, step by step, Arrav began building mountains of his own.